Hi guys, it's Eni, aka the Noctrader, your friendly neighborhood swing trader, back again with another video. Today is Tuesday, the 4th of June 2019. I'm just going to give you a technical analysis breakdown of some UK and US stocks. Let's get straight into the video. You know I'm going to ask you to do next. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that alert button to get alerts on all my latest videos. I've got Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at the Noctrader on all social media platforms. And if you check the description section below, you'll see a link to my mailing list. Join my mailing list to get priority access to my training course that I'm creating for beginner traders, and to get weekly emails of my latest videos and breakdown of the stocks I enter and exit. Let's get straight into it. So I'm going to be trying to do this before most of my technical analysis reports now. Just a little overview of the market. These are the top indices. You got the Dow Jones, S&P 500, Nasdaq, Russell 2000, Nike, Eurostoxx 50, DAX. The only one you haven't got here is the FTSE 100 for some reason. As you can see today, it's been a green day. It's clawed back a lot of the losses that's been making over the last month. If you check on the daily chart, all of the major ones are green. On the weekly chart, it's green, and even on the monthly chart, it's gone up so much today that it's regained all the losses that were made over the last month, which is good. So, but why is that? It's because the Federal Exchange Chief, Powell, was basically speaking in code, and what he was referencing to was that if the market keeps falling any more, that he'll cut interest rates to try and help stabilize it. That was kind of what he was saying. I'll read a little bit of it. So he said, stocks rose sharply on Tuesday, extending gains after remarks by Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell were seen by some investors as opening the door to a rate cut. So that's how the market took it. He didn't say it explicitly, but he alluded to the fact that he might cut interest rates just to help stimulate the market, because we're kind of in a bit of trouble right now. And that was enough to send the markets going up for today. So you need to use that, have that information in mind when I show you the stocks that I'm looking at. So let's get back into the stocks. First one I'm gonna do is DAX. So if any of you follow me on Twitter, you will know that I thought DAX was gonna carry on selling off. I was really sure about that, but hey, I was wrong. It came up, but that was due to the fundamental news, as we've kind of stated before. So that wasn't accounted for when I made my short position. Well, made my short analysis. And that was based on the fact that if you look at the DAX on the 4-hour chart, I was expecting it to kind of retrace back to the line and then sell off some more, and it didn't do that. It retraced back to the line, sold off to here, and then it rose up. And this was all just due to the news about the potential interest rate cut that could happen. I took a short position around here, and I lost £60, but it's one of those things. I set a type stop loss, so I didn't lose any more than that, but these things happen. Sometimes fundamentals can outweigh the technicals, and when that happens, sometimes you just have to cut your losses. So I lost a bit of money, but I didn't do anything wrong with regards to following my strategy. It's just that there was a external factor that came into play that I couldn't account for, and it sent the market going the other way. And because of that, you can just see if I scroll through a lot of these stocks, they've all just started going up, even if they were looking like they were going to sell off. So they've kind of made them break pattern. Look at DAX did that, as I was showing you before. DO is kind of, well, actually, to be honest, DO, this one I expect to carry on selling off, to be honest. This isn't what I'm analyzing, to be honest, but I could go into that. Well, I'm not going to go into that. Another stock that I'm looking at is GETIB AB. It's actually it's on the Stockholm stock exchange, so I don't think many of the guys in the US can trade it, but I find it quite interesting. Once again, this one was selling off, then they made a couple of gains, maybe due to the news on the Fed rate cut. But if you look at the weekly chart, it looks like it's selling off, and everything's telling me selling off. We've got pretty much a descending triangle. We've got basically got a descending channel pattern, potential channel pattern. Yeah, well, not. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a descending channel pattern. We've got a descending pattern. It's hit this resistance line 3 times. The 188 simple moving average is curving down and is acting as a resistance. Look at it, intersected here and intersected here. So I can see this selling off, but this is the weekly chart, so it's going to take some time to develop this move. But everything's telling me that it's going to continue selling off. You have to, the only thing to take into consideration that it's got a key support here, and it's hit it 3 times, so it may not go past this point. So just got to be wary of that. On the daily chart, pretty much of the same. I still expect it to sell off. It came up a little bit, but I do expect it to sell off just based off of the technical analysis. It's going to take a while though to develop, as I said, because this is a slow burner, this stock. It took 3 months to go up, but it went 5,000 pips. So there's a lot to be gained if you're right in this position. But the risk to reward is pretty good. You can risk 900, maybe 1,000 pips to make potentially 5,000 pips. So that's 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, which is pretty good. So it's one I'm going to be watching. Maybe take a short position on that. But the only reason why I'm not taking that position is because the way the market is right now, it's a bear market. Even though today was a good day, it's still a bear market as far as I'm concerned. The only reason why a lot of these stocks went up was because of some positive news by a big player in by the Federal Reserve executive. And what these guys do normally is that they will, when they see the market's going really bad, they may release a press release or say something to kind of stimulate the market. Even whether they're going to do it or not is another thing, but just those words alone can kind of push all the indices up. But once they haven't been realized, no action has been taken, the market will end up dropping again. So you can't take these words too much in consideration until something has actually happened. And there's only so much someone in like the Federal Exchange or someone that has some sort of pulling power within the market can manipulate the market with words. They need to actually start taking action. So while there was a good day today, and that's great for today, I still think we're in the bear market, so we still need to take that into consideration. As far as all the gains that's made today can still get taken away tomorrow, as far as I'm concerned. So that just needs to take into consideration. That's why I'm still having a short bias, and I'm taking shorter positions. I'm not taking weekly, like couple week positions, or I'm starting even taking sometimes maybe 1 day position, 2 day positions, because every time something happens, some sort of news has been coming in recently to kind of throw that pattern off. So I could be right in my analysis of a pattern, but because of some sort of external fundamental news, it's throwing the pattern off. And this has happened recently more frequently, so I'm just trying to tweak my strategy a little bit for the current situation the market is in. Not to say that the strategy I've been using before won't work again, but you know, the market ebbs and flows, so you need to just give what it takes you, well, take what it gives you, sorry. Okay, so on to the next one. TSCO. So just so there's no confusion, I've got 2 TSCOs. One's TSCO, which is a British stock. It's a British supermarket store, and the other one is Tractore Supply. I'm talking about Tractore Supply. I'm not taking any long positions. I've given my reasons. I've told you guys before, but this is an interesting stock because it looks everything's telling me that this may be a good long position. This is like a key kind of support resistance area. That's why I made this little box here. It used to be a resistance. Now it's been broken through and it's been acting as a support. There was kind of like an ascending channel pattern, but it was quite rough because it kept breaking out of it. Now it looks like it's breaking up to the upside, but I'm not sure whether this is a true bullish move or this could be a false breakout. The MACD and RSI all telling me that it looks like it's gonna carry on going up. So this could be a potential bullish move. And everything's in line for like a long position, a couple of days long position. So everything, the MACD, RSI all kind of curving up, hit the support, climbing, and broke out of the 15-day exponential moving average. So this could be a potential long position, but don't think I want to take it for the reasons I gave earlier. But that's one for you guys to look at. Now, I told you on the DAX one, I lost a bit of money. I lost about £63, but I gained it all back today because I took a little day trade with GUSH. What's going on here? I explained the thought process behind my day trade with GUSH. So when I trade GUSH or DRIP, I trade on a 1 hour chart because they move so they're so volatile that a 4 hour chart does. The 4 hour chart, I can't really get much I can't really take advantage of much moves because it moves so like frantically. I have to go down to the 1 hour chart or 30-minute chart to trade it, which I don't do for most of my other stocks. So on the 1 hour chart, actually let me zoom out a little bit. On the 4 hour chart, let me go to the daily chart. On the daily chart, the reason why I go to the daily chart first is that this line here is a previous support. So it kind of respected that previous support here. So when I go back to the 1 hour chart, you can see it kind of triple bottom, double bottom, whatever you want. It kind of consolidated on this previous support, and then it started climbing. And when I saw that it started climbing, I thought, okay, let me take a long position, because right now it's in a good position where you can take advantage of a long position here. And when I went down to the 30-minute chart, let me go down even lower. I'll go down to the 10-minute chart. See, I plotted some lines on the 10-minute chart, and what I saw here was that on the on even the 15-minute chart, there was like a kind of price that started climbing, broke above this kind of support resistance line here. So it's been true to this resistance line here, and here. So it broke out. So I went long on it, went long on it here, exit my position, and now it kind of consolidated above this line. So and the 180-day simple moving average on the 15-minute chart is like kind of coming underneath price, and it looks like it's about to lift it up. So I feel like it's going to carry on going up because it's consolidated above this line. So I can see it rising some more over the next couple of days, but just got to be wary with the ETFs. They move so aggressively quickly that you can see yourself a couple hundred pips. You can see yourself gap up in positively in one position, or gap down negatively in another position overnight. So it's not really great to hold it overnight. But for this one, I think I'm going to do it. Hope I don't regret it. You'll find out tomorrow if I do. But I'm long on GUSH. I took a position, exited for about £93, but then at its peak, and then I re-entered kind of here at the base, and hopefully I think it's going to carry on going up. I'm going to take this position overnight. I'm bearing the risk. If it's wrong, then that's my problem, but I think it's going to carry on climbing up, which is why I'm still in my position. We'll find out tomorrow. You lot can all laugh at me if I'm wrong, so we'll see it either way. So right now I'm in GUSH. I made £93 off GUSH, so I kind of gained all the losses I lost yesterday through DAX, and yeah, this is the only position I'm in right now. Aka the Noctrader signing out.